before the Passover celebration, Jesus knew that his hour had come to leave this world and return to his Father. He had loved his disciples during his ministry on earth, and now he loved them to the very end. If you have a footnote, I love the way it puts it. He showed them the full extent of his love. It was time for the supper, and the devil had already prompted Judas, Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus. Jesus knew that the Father had given him authority over everything, and that he had come from God and would return to God. So, he got up from the table, took off his robe, wrapped a towel around his waist, and poured water into a basin. Then he began to wash the disciples' feet, drying them with the towel he had around him. When Jesus came to Simon Peter, Peter said to him, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" Jesus replied, "You don't understand now what I'm going to say." "No," Peter protested, "you will never wash my feet." Jesus replied, "Unless I wash you, you don't belong to me." Now, the power of that story is perhaps lost on us. They lived in an agrarian society. They lived in a different world than we do right now. They didn't have paved roads the same way we do. They lived with animals for transportation, animals for pets, animals for food. They lived in a different society, so walking on the roads in that society was a whole different experience than it is now. Have you ever been in Caldwell? And the running of the sheep? We just moved here and we experienced the running of the sheep. My wife was running to the bank or something for the radio station. Is it normal that I'm surrounded by thousands of sheep on the main road? What's going on here? I saw them off Orchard a couple years later. It's an amazing sight. If you've never seen them, suddenly, boom, there's the sheep. I'd never heard of this before, but Jack told me during breakfast that there's also the running of the cattle down Idaho 55. That's even worse. They're bigger. What they leave behind is larger. Imagine you're walking along the road. I mean, this is commonplace. There's stuff there. There's things you have to avoid. You don't always avoid it, and it's dirt, and you didn't have shoes. They didn't have shoes like we have. You know, boots, hiking boots, knee waders. They didn't have that. They had sandals. So they're walking along, and there's stuff there, and then you're walking, and then foot washing was meaningful. Let me tell you what, because it was really washing someone's feet when you wash. So which is why when someone would come over to the house, you would have your servant, because nobody wants to touch that. Your servant take a basin and go to the first person and take off their sandals and wash that stuff off their feet. It's disgusting. It's gross. It's nasty. It's crusty. There's things there that we're not sure what it is. And you watch that water turn color as you wash that foot. You had a servant do it. You had somebody that didn't matter. Someone who didn't have a lot of rights. Someone you paid because nobody wanted to touch that. And then Jesus stands up and wraps a towel around himself, grabs that basin of water, and walks up to that first disciple and takes their foot in his hands and wash their feet. Saying in that moment, I will take the nastiness of you to myself. I will take this crusted stuff of you to myself. I will clean you up myself. Oh, man. Do you see that? You see Jesus standing before you going, look, give me the stuff of your life, that stuff you're not proud of, that stuff that you wish you could forget, that stuff in your life that people have done to you, that you've done, the choices you've made. Let me take it.